Fictional armies we could beat. That is what we are going to be talking about today. Bro, that was the crispest clap. Oh my goodness, bro. That felt good. I'm sorry. I just had to bring that up because I knew somebody was going to bring that up. But no, we're going to be talking about fictional armies. Everything. From the Wizarding World to the Na'vi to the Chitauri from Infinity War and Endgame. And we are going to be putting them in a tier list based off if they could take us. Just us, okay? Whether it's the American, triple the defense budget military to just the entirety of the world taking them on. Because I'm just going to be honest with you, dog. Hot take. The Chitauri from 2012's The Avengers. We are strolling in there and we are absolutely no-diffing them. I'm sorry, bro. Why does a little tiny plasma cannon do as much damage as a 22? Like, what are we actually talking about right now, dog? I'm sorry, if I have to hear one more time how Harry Potter saved the Muggle world from Voldemort, like we wouldn't stroll in there and absolutely annihilate every single wand wiggler in sight. I'm sorry, bro. Stop it. It's embarrassing. This is anti-human propaganda that you are propagating right now, okay? And at the end of the day, that's what I want to talk about, okay? I want to take everybody from the Wizarding World to the Viltrumites to the Terminators to the Covenant from Halo, put them in a tier list based off how much or how likely we'd be able to beat them. If that sounds good to you, please consider like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 250,000 subscribers before the release of GTA 6. That is the goal. And if you can help me get to that, I don't know. I'll do like a giveaway or something. I haven't really thought that far ahead, but you know what? Top comment, it'll go into a raffle. Top comment, whatever receives the most likes, it'll go into a raffle, and whatever wins, that'll be the thing that I do when we reach 250, and again when we reach 500. That is the goal. And with all that out of the way, let's get into the video. Let's go. The Wizarding World from Harry Potter. Brother, let me tell you something right now, okay? We're strolling in the Hogwarts, and any wand wiggler that wants to hit me with the done. I'm sorry, bro. In the time it takes you to say brother, I'm sorry, I've already unloaded. Don't even get me started on the idea that, like, bro, drones would go so hard. Oh my goodness, I'm just thinking about it right now. We got chemical agents, biological weaponry. We got, oh my goodness, just imagine, dude, we start weaponizing. Oh my goodness, bro. Dude, I know how we would do it. I know how we would do it too, bro. We would go into the house elves. We would install a rebellion within them. And once the civil unrest begins, we're going to be going to these wizards that have some type of allegiance to other people. And then we're going to start pinning wizards against other groups of wizards. We're going to be doing biological agents at their realms of, not realms of worship, but realms of gathering. And once we take out the leadership and we have the rest of the wizarding world basically propagating into these small little groups, I'm going to tell you something right now, brother. Okay, you're gonna have to be hiding in a tree to hide from what we're about to do. Okay, I'm not even getting started by if we're going scorched earth on you. Don't you? Oh my goodness, the amount of things that we would do, because the wizards have this superiority complex where they believe that they don't have to understand us Muggle technology. Brother, the moment we can back engineer magic, we are cooking them beyond belief, okay? The absolute epitome of the ass whooping that they are about to take would be known of biblical proportions. Oh my gosh, bro. Dude, the propaganda game would go so hard. I know how I would do it too. Brother, I would treat the wizarding world as if it is a front against God. I would get those people to join up with the warmongering people. I would create a whole front to immediately start engaging in sock and awe tactics. And that's how you would have to do. You don't slowly infiltrate them. No. You engage in sock and awe. I'm sorry, bro. Oh my. Dude, like that is a movie right there. You could do that. If J.K. Rowling was not boring, what you would do is you would do the Wizarding World against the Muggle world, but it would actually be the Wizarding World stayed away from the Muggles, not because we were worried what we would do to them, but we were worried what they would do to us. Oh my goodness, dog. Oh! Dude, I'm sorry. I actually don't know what they would have against us. Like you want to talk about, oh baby, time travel. Dude, I'm sorry. You think we can't back engineer any of this? You think we can't? You don't think we'd be able to turn some of the wizards? You don't think we would? Brother, why would the Weasleys have any level of allegiance to the wizarding world when they've been nothing but discriminated against? Oh my goodness, they basically have a caste system. Dude, oh my gosh, they have pure-blooded wizards, half-blooded wizards. Brother, this is the CIA's wet dream right here. They have a built-in caste system, and the most powerful people are on top are admittedly the least numeral? And I can easily turn them against each other? Oh my gosh, dude, this would be the easiest way to completely get rid of their society within one fell swoop, bro. I would engage in some information warfare within their different caste system. Take out their, like, bodies of either, like, judicial, brother, I'm sorry. The amount of ways you would take out the wizarding world is literally innumerable. Dude, easy work, bro. We wouldn't even have to try. I'm sorry, get out of here. Oh my gosh, dude. I need to start with that to get that out of my system, because it is the most British thing I've ever heard. And to my British people, this is nothing against you, it's more against J.K. Rowling. It is the most British thing I've ever heard that you think that, like, the Americas is not immediately figuring this shit out and already engaging in like 15 different types of psyop within here, dude. I'm sorry here. Easy work. Get out of here. The Imperium of Man from Warhammer 40k. Okay, opposite side of the spectrum. Brother, we're cooked. We are cooked. Now, we do have a slight advantage. The only advantage that we really have is that humanity as it is right now is not afraid of technological innovation like the Imperium of Man is. The Imperium of Man, ever since they lost the God Emperor during the Horus Heresy, have feared any level of actually even when the Emperor, no. Since the First Crusade, when the God Emperor came in, and after the Great, I forget what it was the AI war that brought them back. It's kind of like in Dune and in like Terminator that we're going to talk about in a second. Kind of more or less brought down the thinking machines, and they more or less kind of technologically stagnated. We do not have that problem. Oh my goodness, and if we can get a hold of some of their like technological like walking cities that they have that are kind of more or less maybe be powered by some of this like thinking machines, oh my good, we could. No, we wouldn't, because we do not have the capabilities of high space travel that the Warhammer 40k does. And the fact is, bro, is the moment that we get conquered, they're gonna impose their way of life on us completely and utterly. Because we 100% would be heretics against the Empire. 100%, bro. How would you react if some, like, 15-foot tall man built like a Ford F-150 comes up to you and tells you, hey, yo, are you listening to Trippy Red? That's heresy. And then you just get wiped out by a Black Templar. Dude, I'm sorry, dude. The only thing that we kind of have on them, technically, is that we're not terrified of technological innovation like they are. But there's so much technological innovation that we have to do unless we're able to we're cooked. We're just cooked. The Na'vi from Avatar. Brother, I'm sorry, dude. Where do I even begin? I'm sorry, the Avatar from Na'vi. No. Reverse. The Na'vi from Avatar, I'm sorry, bro. There's such a little threat in my mind. Dude, I'm sorry. We are taking them out, dude. I like forgot about other ones. I was saying Sakana Tactics, we're gonna drop the sun on Awa and absolutely eviscerate some of their gods. No. We wouldn't even have to do that. If it's no holds barred, no Geneva Convention here, because technically wouldn't have to, because the Geneva Convention only really falls under certain nations, and human rights wouldn't involve the Na'vi unless there's a treaty that I don't know about within the Avatar universe, which there probably isn't. Let's just keep it real here. It's a whole for-profit system. Okay, wait, sorry. What would I do it? Open up a history book. I would. First off, I would probably abduct a few of the Na'vi, abduct a few of them, figure out a biological nerve agent that can spread between them, and I would want to make it as non-lethal as possible so it can infect all of them, and it would be something that would be very, very mundane, whether it be a little bit of a cough, whether it be like a little bit scratchy of the eye, maybe they have a little bit of a sinus problem. Okay, and then I would start making demands, okay? I'd be like, hey, if you do not listen to us, we are sent by your god Awa. We are the sky people. We are the ones coming from heavens. We seek dominion over you because your god Awa gave us this dominion. And if they don't listen, what we would do is we would probably say something like, okay, there will be a great sickness that takes your youth. And then we would modify the biological agent to only target certain groups of people, because honestly, that's not even... I mean, with the stuff that we have now, you could 100% do some type of biological engineering to make a bioweapon that would take out either the old of the population or the young of the population, and then you would do that with the Na'vi. And at that point, you've created both a supernatural psyop, where now they believe that you are actually sent by God, and two, from a tactical point of view, you have taken out a subset of the population. Now, if I'm going to be ruthless here, I would try to make it target, like, not the young, but I would have to make it target at least people of warrior age, okay? Because this would be something... Have you guys ever heard of, what was it? It was I think it was the blinding trains of the Assyrians, because I think it was either the Assyrians or the Persians that had this way of crippling their POWs. They would take the POWs, they would take a steam engine, and then they would have the steam engine blow into the eyes of the POWs. And then they would chain them together, and they would make a long train of blind POWs. And then they would take one, and they would blind him in one eye, and he would have one. And this POW was tasked with bringing them all the way back to their home city-states. And then the economies of these city-states, which were already running at a deficit because they weren't turning much of a profit because this was admittedly back near the Bronze Age and the Silver Age, they would be operating even more because now they wouldn't have the infrastructure to take care of all of these crippled POWs. So now you're faced with this thing, you're faced with this horrible dilemma where you have to take care of the your soldiers of war that were your young men that were going to be pushing forward the economy. But now that they're all crippled, now they are a strain on the economy. Now, if we take this with the Na'vi, how would you do it? You're taking out the young of the population effective immediately. You're either crippling the young population, and you're leaving them with the old. So now you are creating a strain on all of their systems because now they're not gathering as much food. They aren't training as much warriors. On top of that, all the old that's really left is the old on top of that. And there's only so much that you're going to be able to keep up with when we've taken out basically the warrior part of your caste system. Now, what we would have to do is incite some type of rebellion in between the different groups, because the biggest problem with conquering Pandora would be from a logistical point of view, because it's very difficult to move people, like even on Earth, moving people from one side of the globe to the other, making sure they're fed. Now imagine that with a whole other planet. Terraforming would have to begin very, very quickly. Once we have some level of allegiance that's been built up because of the biological agents, we have some type of supernatural appeal because the Na'vi are a very supernatural and superstitious people. Once we've been able to dominate that, collects the heart and minds, then we can start spreading blessings. We start gifting the people that are loyal to us and punishing those that are not loyal to us. I am the Imperium of Man in this situation. I just want to let you know that. Like, obviously this is all evil. But if I'm looking at this to the point of view where it's either us or them, this would be the way to do it. Now, once we've been able to capture a few of the groups that we're going to coexist with, and we've taken out a good part of the population of neighboring groups, that's when we spread farther and farther and farther, gather a home base there, that's where we operate, there you go. And slowly but surely, we start not indoctrinating, but we kind of move them into where we move them into our society, effective immediately. Okay, that's how we would do it with the Na'vi. Now, I'll be real here. Would it be easy work? No. Logistically, would be tough. I'm going to put it in mid-diff. Logistically would be very difficult, but I know how we would do it. And if we need a force, we could drop the sun on Awa. We could do that. It worked very well. We could do that again. Just saying. I'm going to put it mid-diff. The Armies of Mordor from Lord of the Rings. Now, I understand this is kind of not fair, which this is the funny part. Brother, the Na'vi, it's not fair. Harry Potter, it's not fair. It's not fair with Mordor either. Now, okay, from a surveillance point of view, Sauron actually has a very big advantage because of the Eye of Sauron. But when I talk about the Eye of Sauron, it's not so much that the Eye is seeing everything. Sauron also has in his possession a Palantir, and the Palantir basically is like a mega surveillance device that only very few powerful individuals can use. That'd be like Saruman, Gandalf, and, Saruman, Gandalf, and a few other ones, of course, because they are part of, I think it's the Niederlandir. They're basically the angels of this mythology, and these are the only ones that can operate on this, and because they're basically allowed to. I'm sorry, we're getting too far. So from a surveillance point of view, we're kind of at a disadvantage here. However, from literally every other point of view, yeah, brother, send the fucking Nazgul. Give me an F-22 Raptor, baby. I'm sorry, bro, we're blowing them out of the sky. Okay, you also got biological agents that we can use on the Uruks, take them out by the hordes, make it more difficult for them to regain their numbers than it would be for us to get rid of their numbers. And then we can also have, you got tactical nukes, biological agents. Now, this is the problem that we're going to come into. They are so horrifically loyal to Sauron, inciting a rebellion would almost be impossible. However, Getting to Mordor, I'm sorry, dude, wouldn't be that difficult. It just wouldn't. I'm sorry. If a group of fucking hobbits can walk their little asses all the way up to Mount Doom, I don't care that it was difficult for them. I'm sorry, dog. We're going to be able to do that with some air support. We're getting that done. I'm sorry. There's a few threats inside of there. We have a Balrog, but at the end of the day, I'm sorry, a Balrog, we could pack up a Balrog too. This is also assuming we're not receiving any type of help from the locals. But if we're just dealing with Sauron, I'll just keep it real here, dog. That's gonna be an easy work. Easy work. I'm sorry, I did have to bring that one up, mostly because, yeah, I'm just gonna put it in easy work. The Covenant from Halo. That's tough. I'm gonna keep it real here, dog. Probably cooked. We're probably cooked, because even in the universe of Halo, the UNSC, which is just humanity but in the future, was getting absolutely decimated until Master Plot Armor himself, Master Chief, pulled up and strolled out the absolute biggest D-energy of all time and proceeded to do a one-man army against the Covenant to the point where the Covenant had a civil war before they were able to beat us. Okay, that's essentially what happened. The problem with the Covenant is the same problem that we're going to have with the Empire from Star Wars, is they have technology that can all but get rid of our planet. And the fact is that we're good at mobilizing. We're not good at mobilizing to other planets as of right now, sadly. And when we're looking at the Covenant, the fact is that is going to be such a hard counter to anything we can do. We are cooked. At some point in technological innovation, we are just cooked. The Terminators. I'm going to keep it real with you, dog. I thought we would be 100% cooked. 100%, that's where I thought. However, if you're able to catch it early with Skynet, the truth is you can, in theory, beat them. However, the way that you would have to beat them would be creating a weapon that is fundamentally their equal to take them out, which would mean that we would have to use our own versions of AI to take them out, which would be something that you would kind of have to do with the Na'vi. The Na'vi, the fact is you would have to do a lot of automated weaponry to take out the Na'vi, logistically speaking. However, when we're dealing with the Terminators, the fact is when the Terminators get to us, but when Skynet gets to a certain level of power, we're just cooked. When he has power over our entire nuclear arsenal, we're cooked. The problem is that, okay, now, if we're able to catch it fundamentally early and we're able to create our own AI to face Skynet or at least keep him busy, then in that case scenario, we could be able to beat him. The problem is that is so difficult, because the fact is the moment we get nuked, we're fucked. The moment that happens, we can't do shit. I'm gonna put it in tough. I'll put it in tough. The Chitauri, or Thanos' army from the MCU. The Chitauri, we are absolutely smoking. We are destroying them. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm sorry. If six superheroes can knock that shit out, we are 100% knocking that out. I'm sorry. Yeah, nah. With the unified force of the American defense budget, they are getting absolutely decimated through that little wormhole. I'm sorry. And they're a hive mind. Oh my gosh. And the fact that, you know what? Guess what who took them out? I want to know who took them out. What took them out? What was it, Iron Man? No, technically not. It was the American defense budget. We launched a nuke through their wormhole and we got it done. So technically speaking, our weaponry is actually pretty effective against them. And I'm going to keep it real here. Maybe this is just bad design from the MCU. I fucking hate how they do plasma. I don't like that a little laser rifle does about as much damage as like a 9mm. That's so dumb in my mind. I'm sorry, dude. Like, I get it. You have to give Captain America plot armor. But the fact is, bro, is now I look at that and I'm like, oh, so we would beat them. Oh, so, like, from a ballistic point of view, what they're shooting at us isn't that much more powerful than what we're hitting them with. So, I think we would be able to take them out. Now, when we're talking about Thanos, if he has the Infinity Gauntlet, we're cooked. We're cooked. Now, if he doesn't have the Infinity Gauntlet, we're going to lose a good amount of the population. The problem is I'm not seeing literally any world-ending firepower that they have outside of the Infinity Gauntlet. And a large portion of American weaponry is as surprisingly effective against them. And the fact is, bro, is like, we have a lot we can hit them with. We do have a lot, dude. And we don't underestimate humanity when it's desperate. When we are, I think we can be pretty dang resourceful. When we're looking at them, I think it's a high diff situation. But I do think a win from us is fairly possible. I like, the Avengers came in, but like, brother, we could just, nuke the battlefield, right? Like, I don't know, bro. I like to think that if the American military saw Endgame, they were like, yeah, bro, like, you are aware that we can, like, erase this entire area off the map, right? Like, in the time it took you to do that final battle, we can send a hypersonic ballistic missile packed with a nuclear payload to completely erase your direction from the map, okay? I'm sorry. High diff, but I think that's valid. The Locust from Gears of War. That's tough, because you're dealing with almost a super... Okay, and I am gonna say super soldier. I'm sorry, bro. Every single character from Gears of War is so mind-bogglingly jacked, they are just superhuman. Okay, I'm sure there's an in-universe explanation for that. However, normal people are not built like that. They just aren't, okay? They can mobilize on just about anywhere that there's land. That's true. That's true. Drone warfare can help us out on there if we're able to do some type of biological warfare where we're able to infect a few of them, and that's going to be able to, when they go into their little hordes underground, we can start infecting them with something like this biological agent, and that could whittle down their numbers. The problem is the sheer damage to society that it would cause, and we would levy a lot of that damage being taken on our infrastructure because a lot of refugees are going to be out of a home because of how much damage it's going to do. That's tough. That is tough. On top of that, all the other shit that they have. That's tough. I'm sorry. Everything that I'm going towards, that's tough. It's winnable. I think the Terminators are a little bit more difficult. But at the end of the day, there's a few things that we can do against the Locust. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in tough. You know what? Yeah, I think that's fair. The Empire from Star Wars. Here's the problem that we're going to run into. The only weapon that they really have that is like a hard counter to anything that we can do is the Death Star. The Death Star, the planet deleter itself would be difficult. Now, the problem that we're looking towards with the Stormtroopers is I'm sure there's probably going to be some Star Wars legend guy that's going to come in here and be like, well, actually, bullets have zero effect on the Stormtroopers because of their highly efficient armor. And I'm over here like, yes, but like, why are like blaster bolts so effective against it? Oh, well, that's different. I hear what you're saying, but like, do you understand? Like, I have a love-hate relationship with Star Wars Legends because Star Wars Legends is literally the MacGuffin lore. They will, for every single plot hole there is, and keep in mind, Star Wars Legends isn't even canon, by the way, and they will throw in this absolute out-of-nowhere explanation for why this is and why that is. And whenever I hear it, it actually makes me lose my mind a little bit, because it's also like, brother, I'm sorry. Explain that shit in a movie that's canon 100%, and I'm not going to treat it as, oh yeah, well, they have these plates that make it impervious to bullets. And I'm like, that's dumb. That's really dumb, okay? And first off, don't even bother. Okay, and another thing. Oh my gosh, dude, I'm sorry. If the Ewoks are able to make a Vietnam situation against the Stormtroopers, actually, no, I'm sorry, dude. That's a tough matchup. If they have the Death Star, we're cooked. I was about to put them in We Are Cooked up until I remembered the Ewoks were able to make it a fairly even matchup for a minute. Yeah, outside of that, I'm sorry, I'm putting it in tough. I think that's valid. I actually just have to put it there. Tough, but we got that shit. The Survey Corps of Attack on Titan. Mostly just the entire army of parody. And you know what? Fine, I'm gonna ask the question. Could the modern military of the planet stop the rumbling? Yes. 100% they're stopping the rumbling. I'm sorry, bro. Like, no, we would lose a good portion of the planet. I'm not even gonna lie. And this is gonna sound really effed up. But, like, canonically speaking, the rumbling would never have gotten to here. I'm sorry to tell you that, but, like, canonically speaking, the rumbling destroyed all of Africa, mostly. Got to South America, and people, what would be in the American continent, were relatively fine. So this is the problem that I'm coming up with. We would 100% be able to catch it early enough, and we would be able to fundamentally flatten the entirety of the rumbling, okay? Like the final end credits of Attack on Titan, where the entirety of parody is left in a post-apocalyptic hellscape. That would be what would happen when we got in. I'm sorry, yes. With thermonuclear weapons, we are 100% targeting Eren Yeager and leveling him. I know some people are going to say, oh, well, maybe that's not going to work. Maybe that's not. No, I'm sorry. For air support and weaponry, we would lose a large portion of the population. However, we're taking out Eren with us, though. Eren's getting taken out relatively quickly. The moment we start getting the first reports of mass casualties, thermonuclear weapons are getting launched, and we're going to have more casualties but we are taking them out. Now, if you're looking at it through, like, the Survey Corps, they'd be able to do some. They do have, like, weirdly enough, they have, like, swords, they have ODM gear, but then they also just have missiles out of nowhere, and I'm like, whatever. What would you do with that? Oh, I would do, like, AI-powered targeting drones. Yeah, I'm not gonna leave the chance for failure up to humans. I'm gonna make some auto-targeting drones that are gonna be able to pick them out like aimbot. Done. I'm sorry, that's how we're pulling that up. We ain't playing this game, dog. We ain't playing this game. If a Titan sews up, listen, unbelievable sow of force coming from the Raptors, and we cooking them. I'm sorry, dude. Mid-diff. The rumbling would give us some problems, but mid-diff. The Helldivers from Helldivers. I'm just going to say it right now. This is going to sound like America oorah, but I'm just going to keep it real with you, dog. The American defense budget is literally just Super Earth. I'm sorry, dude. Like, there's a reason that, like, Helldivers is meant to be, like a joke about, like, America's military, like, it is. I'm sorry, it just is. And there's good and there's bad. Most of it's bad. I 100% understand that. But, like, if you want to make fun of America, literally the last thing you can make fun of is, like, our military, dog. We're, like, it's, like, stupidly overpowered in terms of, like, how much that we put into it and some of the weird shit that we just make because we want to see if we can make it. At the end of the day, that's the best way that I can describe it, okay? And when I'm looking at the Helldivers, the fact is they're just a more technologically advanced us. Okay, they have black hole bombs, they got teleportation, antimatter bombs. The fact is like, you know what I think would happen? If the Helldivers faced, like, humans, like faced more of us, we would probably fall under Super Earth, and it would just happen. Like, I think we would get assimilated. I think it's tough. It's tough. I think the Stormtroopers would wipe us out if they had needed to. Helldivers would assimilate us within a couple of seconds because they would be like, you are made in the image of Super Earth. And then they would adopt us. That's what I think would happen. The Viltrumites from Invincible. Okay. There's a few things we can do. There is a few things that we would do. Okay. Like, number one. Once we figure out the frequency that throws off their equilibrium and effectively kind of more or less makes them kind of useless, and I'm gonna be real here, I love Viltrumites. I love the Invincible. It is kind of dumb how good the frequency thing works. It is kind of stupid how well it works. I'm just gonna keep it 100% honest with you, because then it opens up. Why don't I just have 1,000 of these drones just endlessly swarming a Viltrumite? Because if one of them goes off, it throws off their equilibrium and they can no longer fly. Okay? Now, if you're dealing with an army of them, literally 100 of them, when 3 of them can, in theory, destroy a planet, we're still cooked. However, there are weapons that can be made to go against them, but I don't think we have these weapons. That's the truth. In the time it would take to make these weapons to take them out, we have been conquered 15 times over. And at that point, that's where the Viltrumites are going to win. There are weapons that we can take them out if we figure out the frequency stuff early enough. We're going to be able to use that against them. But the problem is that, like, the majority of the people in the Invincible universe didn't even know about the frequency stuff until the time the story takes place. Literally thousands of years, then they found out what the frequency stuff was. So at the end, they can keep a secret. Obviously, Viltrumites are going in. We are cooked. And there you go. Those are some fictional armies that I think that we may or may not be able to beat in a fight. Okay, I wanted to come up with like a good video to build off like the aliens and zombies one. If there's another video like this that you would want me to make, we have a How I Would Beat series coming out, where I would probably say something like how I would beat the zombie apocalypse in The Walking Dead, how I would beat the xenomorph in Alien, stuff like that. Leave some suggestions of that in the comment section down below. And if you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to stay notified. We're trying to get to 250,000 subscribers before the end of the year. 500,000 subscribers before the release of GTA 6 is the goal. And with all that out of the way, I will see you all in the next video. Adios. Actually, let me say one more thing. To all the people who's wished me happy birthday, thank you. You are invited to the cookout. And with all that out of the way, I will see you all in the next video. Adios, guys.